Hey there, I'm Ari from Tech Buyers Guru, and I've got another product on the bench for review today here on the channel. This is the Ring Indoor Cam. This was released in September 2019, and it's really a brand new product for Ring. Of course, Ring has a number of other video cameras on the market already. Here's one of them here, the stick-up cam. I'm very familiar with that one. And then they also have their doorbell cams. I actually reviewed and installed the Video Doorbell Pro on the channel here, and that proved to be quite a popular video actually, because I did go through the process of setting it up, and I felt, well, why don't I take a look at one of their cameras on the channel here to give you an idea of what Ring is doing outside of the doorbell space. You know, that's how they started. Of course, that's where the name Ring comes from, but now they call it they use that name as like a ring of security around your house, and they're about much more than doorbells. In fact, I think that their security cameras are much more important products long-term than their doorbells are, because the typical house only needs, one doorbell, but could use a lot of cameras. So I think they see the market potential for getting into the security camera business. Now, the big news with the Ring Indoor Cam is the price. Whereas the stick-up cams and a lot of competing security cameras were priced around $200, the Indoor Cam comes in at $60. Which is right in the vicinity of products that come from no-name brands that you'll find all over the net. And frankly, they're pretty popular. And Ring realized, well, we've got the backing of Amazon, which is important because Amazon, of course, bought Ring back in 2018. And that means we've got maybe a little leeway here in terms of how we can price this product. And so what they did was they simplified the camera and made it smaller, maybe made it better. It's not clear that that was actually the goal. I will be doing some back-to-back comparisons here between these two cameras. But overall, at $60, it's like almost an automatic thing. If you want to get into security and you want a name that you can trust, Ring is honestly a pretty good company. They've been around a really long time in this space. All right, I'm going to show you what comes in the box with the Ring Indoor Cam. Crack it open. So you do get the camera there. Instructions. For the most, you get a little sticker you can put on your door. For the most part, the instructions basically say just load the app and connect via the app. So let's take a look at what you get. So this is a small camera. I think that's the first thing that I can tell you about that versus all the other security cameras I've seen. So I'm actually going to just pull out a Ring stick-up cam for comparison. Even though the styling is very, very similar, it's basically like a mini-me version of the stick-up cam. Now the stick-up cam is designed for indoor and outdoor use, so it's more robust, it's waterproof. It's also actually more tamper-proof. It has some additional pieces here that prevent people from pulling the power plug out. So it's really a different product altogether. But as you can see from the size, at least, I'd say it's about twice as large overall. And so when you're putting this inside your house, size kind of does matter, and this larger stick-up cam actually can kind of stick out a little bit more in your house. And I do think that Ring is off to a good start by shrinking the camera. Now, in terms of the accessories, it's going to be pretty minimal. You're just going to get that USB power plug. In fact, this box is so big, it's kind of funny. Like, I'm not sure why. Look, this is all that came in the box. I think Ring could actually shrink this box by 50% and still have plenty of space for all of its products. So it's kind of silly that the box is so big. All you get is this little power plug. It's a basic, simple power plug. Not as sleek as I would like. These can be hard to place behind furniture, for instance, because they stick out so far. It's not really a low-profile plug, but that would probably cost more. So that's what you get with this. And like I said, it has a standard USB interface. So that's all you get in the box. Just kind of an instruction sheet that says go use your app, a sticker, and then the camera and a basic power plug. So let's go ahead and set it up. All right, I'm going to show you how to set this up using the Ring app and how the hardware is set up as well. This is a fairly simple device, as you can see. it has a little pivot base here. This kind of pivots a little bit, so you can kind of tilt it back, you can tilt it forward if you want to, and you can unscrew it from the bottom and actually attach it to the back of the camera if you want to wall mount it. So it's one mount does both. You can either just use it as a desk mount, or you can use it as a wall mount if you want to attach it to the back of the camera. Now, I tend to just like these because they need a wire hanging down from them anyway. I just put them on a table surface. So that's how I'm going to set this one up. All right, I'm going to be walking you through the Ring app and showing you what the app tells me and then what I need to do with the camera. So here I am in the app. I'm going to go ahead and add a new device. You can see I have a number of cameras already. If I scroll down, add a Ring product. Okay, that's helpful. So I'll click on that. I know that this is a security camera, so I'm going to go ahead and add a security camera. Now scan the code on your Ring device, or use the one on the product packaging, which is what I'm doing here since I had it in my hand. Okay, will your indoor cam be installed looking out of a window? No, I'm going to use it as an indoor cam. I'm going to name this a hallway. Okay, so it says connect the cable from the included power supply to the port on the back of your indoor camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this into the camera. Fits right in the back there. So let's see if the camera does anything. It is plugged into the wall. There it goes. So I get a little light on the front.
Ring. Follow the instructions in the Ring app to continue.
Okay, so that's nice. It told me to go back to the app. So I'm going to press continue. Great. Well, that was pretty easy. Be sure to enable location. Now, this is a little bit aggravating to me. I don't often have my GPS on, but you need GPS on for anything to work. So I just turned it on manually there, and I'll go ahead and say I'll continue this time, and this time it'll work. The flashing blue light means your indoor cam is getting ready to connect with your phone. Okay, so is it still flashing blue? Yes.
The Ring app is now connected to your Ring device.
Well, that seems pretty simple. Is it really done? Yeah, connect to my router. Okay.
Your Ring device is now connecting to your Wi-Fi network.
And what's really nice,
take a moment. Rome
wasn't built in a day. If you've set up any Ring devices, you've heard that joke a million times over. Rome wasn't built in a day. Very funny. What's really neat about setting this up via the smartphone app is that it automatically copies over.
Successful.
There you go. It's
With
done.
Ring, you're always home.
Thank you, Ring. That's very nice. So what's cool is that it actually pulls the Wi-Fi password off your phone, and so then it then uploads that to your camera, which is now directly connected to your Wi-Fi network. It's not going to be connected to your camera, to your phone permanently. It speaks directly to your Wi-Fi router. Now, one thing I want to show you is what I think is an error in the app. In the privacy settings, this is a setup routine that I believe is for their peephole cam, which is for apartment doors. And it really doesn't make any sense for the indoor cam because as you can see in the picture, there's like a little peephole cam on that first door. And that's so you don't hear people talking outside in your condo or apartment building. This is not a feature that really makes any sense for the indoor cam. So I think this you just want to enable. I think this is an error in the app. It was ported over from an older version of the app for a different camera. Now I'm going to show you a quick comparison of the indoor cam's recording quality versus the older stick-up cam.
This is a test. This is a test of the video and audio feed from a Ring stick-up cam wired. This is only a test. This is a test. This is a test of the video and audio feed from a Ring indoor cam. This is only a test.
Running the two camera feeds back to back, you see the indoor cam has a much narrower field of view than the stick-up cam and also doesn't pick up quite as much lighting and color off the table. So after testing the indoor cam over an extended period of time, I've come to a few conclusions about it. First of all, although I do like the size and shape of it and the style as well, there's one drawback to it being so small, and that is that the power cord itself can actually drag the camera out of position. So just draping this over the countertop or a tabletop over time it can actually pull that camera out of place and actually misorient the camera. The older stick-up cam was quite heavy, and therefore if you put it down on a table, it really wasn't going to move. It weighs about probably twice as much. So if I place this here, you can see even as I place it, it kind of moves out of position. And over time, it'll actually, that cord, or if you brush that cord while you're dusting or something like that, it'll pull that camera out of position. Then next time you go to look at it, it's not even, it's pointing at the wall or something like that. So that's a little bit of a problem to have the camera so small. Also, the field of view was quite a bit more constrained than on the older model. That may make sense indoors where you don't have to get, say, like a whole driveway or a whole front yard, but it is a little bit more limited in terms of what it can catch, and that means you have to be a little bit more careful about how you're going to position the camera. And that gets back to my issue of it, moving kind of on its own because it has a limited field of view. That means you may lose a view of what you need to see indoors, whether it's, the front door or it's your baby in the crib or a dog or something like that. The field of view is pretty narrow. The last thing I have a concern about, and this is really what I think is the Achilles heel of this product, is that Ring has yet to implement a system within its software that allows you to schedule cameras to go on and off. You can schedule them to not notify you of motion that they've detected, but they're still recording. And for an indoor cam, there are a lot of times when you don't want the camera recording. Ring could have done something as simple as had a hardware switch where I could press something and would close the shutter. Or what I think it really should do is implement it in its fairly robust software suite. Maybe even integrating it into its alarm, so when you turn the alarm on, the camera turns on, and when you turn the alarm off when you're walking in the door, it shuts off your indoor cam, because you don't need this on when you're walking through your own hallway. Ring has not done that. I know a lot of critics have given them that suggestion, including myself. Ring has not listened thus far, and I'm starting to wonder if they don't want to hear that. If part of their business is they really want that recording all the time. So that's its Achilles heel. I would not use this camera indoors, and it can't really be used outdoors. So I don't give it my recommendation. I actually give it 3 out of 5 stars just on its merits of being a fairly effective security camera at a fairly low price. None of the other big names are selling a $60 camera. And you do get the whole Ring software suite that goes with it, and you can integrate it into your system. You do have to pay for recordings, unlike a lot of the other inexpensive cameras. And so if this is your first camera, you may be surprised that even though it's $60, to get recordings on it, you have to pay a minimum of $3 a month. So that's $36 a year. That's, within 2 years, you've already exceeded the cost of the camera just in your recording contract. So I think some people are going to be turned off by that. So yes, it's cheap. Yes, it's small. Yes, it does a lot, but there are a few fatal flaws there, and that's why I don't personally recommend it, and I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use this indoors. I'm waiting for Ring to fix its software. Ring has heard this critique over and over again and refuses to integrate a scheduling system into its software. And I can't take it seriously as an indoor camera for that reason. If you want my recommendation on a smart home camera for use indoors, I'd suggest the TP-Link CasaCam. This is one that I use because it does have the ability to schedule it on and off, so it's not recording you when you don't want to be recorded. It costs just $65, so it's competitive with the indoor cam, and it includes a free recording contract for the first 2 years of ownership. So that's all for now. If you like this review, please do like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.